According to royal author Christopher Anderson, King Charles III had an unspoken understanding with the late Queen Elizabeth II regarding the future title of his wife, the then Duchess of Cornwall. The biographer, whose upcoming book, The King, The Life of Charles III, will be the first biography of Charles since he inherited the throne. Mr. Anderson spoke to royal commentator Kenzie Schofield when he appeared on last week's episode of her Today for Daily podcast. He said, it took him 8 years after Diana's death for Charles to convince the Queen to allow him to marry Camilla. During the ceremony they had to really prostrate themselves, had to get down on their knees and pray to the Archbishop of Canterbury and ask for forgiveness for their manifold sins and wickedness. He also had to promise that she'd only be princess consort. But then, for 17 years, he lobbied to get the Queen to back Camilla as future queen. And it wasn't until earlier this year when Prince Andrew, the Queen's favorite son, needed £14 million, £12 million, to pay off his sexual abuse case. In February, the Duke of York reached a settlement with Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who had brought a civil suit against the prince. The out-of-court settlement in the U.S. civil case, which Andrew's lawyers say is not an admission of guilt, put an end to the saga which saw Ms. Giuffre claim that he sexually assaulted her on 3 occasions when she was 17, allegations he categorically denies. The biographer went on to say Charles was very, very angry about the Queen footing the bill for Andrew's civil case, saying the then Prince of Wales was going to speak up in opposition to her using money to pay his settlement. He alleged that someone in Charles' camp suggested that it would be the perfect time for the Queen to announce her support for Camilla as future queen consort, and, in return, Charles won't say anything. On February 6, Queen Elizabeth made a statement to mark the 70th anniversary of her accession to the throne and, to many royal watchers' surprise, the monarch publicly declared her approval of Camilla becoming queen consort once Charles ascended the throne. She said, "I remain eternally grateful for, and humbled by, the loyalty and affection that you continue to give me. And when, in the fullness of time, my son Charles becomes king, I know you will give him and his wife Camilla the same support that you have given me, and it is my sincere wish that, when that time comes, Camilla will be known as queen consort as she continues her own loyal service." Mr. Anderson claimed, "It was this kind of quid pro quo, unspoken understanding behind the scenes, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. I think it was a very reluctant statement on the part of the Queen." 5 years ago, in the run-up to the 20th anniversary of Diana, Princess of Wales' death, a poll for the Press Association found only 14% of the public wanted Camilla to be queen. Even in May this year, a regular YouGov tracker found that just 20% thought the former Duchess should be queen, even despite her receiving the Queen's endorsement, which triggered a spike in support from the public. Now, as Charles and Camilla approach their first 70 days in their new roles, the Queen consort looks as though she has won the seal of approval from the public along with the King. According to one poll survey this month, 44% of the public believe both Charles and Camilla are doing a G.